Podcast with Colin Geddis.
Right about here, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get yourself and your soul together. This man will make your liver quiver. This man will make your bladder splatter. Let's all welcome the world's godfather of soul,
Colin Geddis.
It's Geddis, actually.
Geddis.
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 Fuck you. What the fuck is happening, people? Welcome to the General Banter Podcast. This is the second of the week of the shutdown podcasts. We're going to have a podcast every day for the next week. That's going from the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th to the 20th. All week, a week of podcasts. First of all, my guest today is my wife, Maureen. How are you, Maureen?
Hello.
We nearly got a divorce just before the podcast there, didn't we?
We did. That was good fun.
You've lipstick all over your teeth. Did you eat a lipstick?
Yeah.
Can I touch it?
No, don't.
No, not
Oh
this.
my God.
You gotta wipe
coronavirus.
that. Looks like you ate a full lipstick.
Oh my God.
Maureen, professional makeup artist Maureen, and you're out there eating lipsticks. Now, the cheek of me to give out, you know, look how small your head is, Maureen. You're fully hid behind the microphone. Look at you just put your whole face behind the microphone. You know, when McCann's here, it looks like someone holding a match up to the moon. But when you're here, I can't see your face. Just want to plug some gigs. There's none. There's no
There
gigs
is
coming
none.
up. This is the St. Paddy's Day special of the podcast. We should have wore green or something. The only
I know I forgot all my green stuff. inside.
the only dead giveaway is the fact that you're drinking Guinness, which is good for your blood or whatever, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the main reason.
I gotta say, this is one of these things where I was like, I'm gonna do a podcast every day, and then as soon as that became a reality, nightmare. Had to go to now all these months, you know, all these weeks of and days, just long days of going up to the office and working and putting a lot of work in and watching Frank do all the work. It's finally ready, and as I explained yesterday, there's no internet in the fucking place. There's no fibre near it, which is very annoying. But then also I was going to have guests on, and then also the coronavirus, so I can't really use it at all.
Good news, isn't it?
And that's great. And the soundboard that I got, you know, it records at 48 kilohertz or whatever the fuck it is. And then, you know, the camera that I have, there's no setting on for 48. So the sound doesn't sync. So we're having a great week all around.
Yeah.
And we're doing a week of podcasts, and we're back
My
here.
microphone's moving.
We're back here with this old fucking H6N, which sounds like I'm shouting into a biscuit tin.
Aw.
Sounds like shit.
Is it going to sound
The other one's so meaty and dense in my voice. That sounded like a sexy
Sure, we'll work
microphone.
it out, like.
But now here we are with this fucking taser, trying to talk into that. We do have red XLR cables though, which makes it look really professional, so it's all good. So, do you want
To be fair, you've had the normal amount of meltdowns, so
Oh yeah, the meltdown counter has not.
it's the normal amount for you.
Yeah. In fact, do you think? First of all, you're doing a podcast today. Now,
Yeah.
9th attempt today, but it's fine. You know, we're supposed to do one this morning. Do you pull your nail off?
It was broken. Alright.
You're supposed to do the podcast this morning. You know, we couldn't abandon our baby with anybody. I mean, that's the main problem. If there's one problem with children, it's you just can't leave them alone. And I argue against it. Like a lot of the parenting books, they're like, don't leave the baby alone. And I'm like, what harm's it gonna do?
Like, what can he really get up to?
You're like, it
you
can't
know?
even walk. Of course you can leave it by itself. It's not. People are
I
worried.
think the worst bit here is that you're saying it a lot.
People are worrying when you leave they by itself that it's gonna wreck the place, and it won't. It'll just cry for hours on end, and people just don't
Yeah,
realize
it'll
it.
be psychologically damaged, but
Yeah,
you
you
know,
just leave it by
at least
itself.
he gets
What's
some
the big
stuff
fucking
done, you
deal?
know? At least Colin get his messages done. You
It's
know,
not gonna eat all the food in your house or anything. Can't move. Won't eat anything. Doesn't need food.
some children do move though, Colin. So
Show me. Show me on the internet one child moving.
well, I know. Apparently so.
Anyway, you're here. People are intrigued to hear from you.
Really,
People wanted you to do a post chemo chat, but you're
it's
not
not really post yet, unfortunately.
not really post. Explain. Would you-
Oops, sorry.
It's and you've put it all in chin. Maureen,
Oh shit.
is this your first podcast?
Oh, yeah, so I've had one sip of Guinness and drank.
Maureen's had 2 sips
Oh,
of Guinness. You're probably gonna glass me in a minute.
I might actually.
How weird does it say
Is that
that?
really echoey, or is it just
It's-
my
It's
hello?
just shite. Everything's shite. This is falling apart.
I'll just stick this back together.
God, amateurs. Yeah, so everyone was wanting to hear from you because they're wondering how you are, and sometimes you're on the podcast and then you haven't been on for a while.
Yeah, well, I thought I would have been on more maybe, but usually when I'm home, like the first week, I don't want to do anything. Because you're just kind of recovering from being in. To be fair, it's just being in hospital for like almost 6 days is we're getting over that, apart from the chemo part.
Yeah, it's just
and not being able to see your baby that much. So the first week I don't really go anywhere, and I can't for my just immunity wise. And then the second week, then you get some stuff done, and then back in on a Sunday night, and it's just like the time just has gone really quickly, really slowly, and really quickly at the same time.
It's
very hard to explain, but
one of the weird things is that obviously there's like high risk people with this coronavirus. You're one of them. Yeah. Congratulations. I'm elderly and fat, so I'm dicing with death there too. But the thing is, all these rules that have come in, you have to do them anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, my reality hasn't really changed. As in, it's a little bit different, obviously, because I can't go anywhere now. Before I would have went to like a local, like small coffee shop or something where I knew, you could go out for food or something. I wouldn't be that scared. But now it's like, obviously, don't leave your house at all. But weirdly, this is the reality for a lot of people, and maybe, people are really, finding it really tough right now for a few days. Like, they've only done it for a few days, but genuinely, this has been what my life's been like for 4 months. Like, you can't just go out. I haven't been to a Tesco or like a shopping centre since when I was pregnant, I haven't been to certain shops. I haven't been to certain places to eat. I wouldn't do so many things. I can't just go do...
No takeaways, no fucking...
Yeah, like...
You won't even reheat rice?
No, I'll not do anything. Anything to risk, infection, germs, food poisoning, anything. I can't risk any of it because I'd be really sick. So
that's the weird thing. It's like...
It's the same now, but there's just a lot more... It's just a lot scarier now, weirdly. So it's the same, but it's like... Oh no, seriously! If you catch something like this off someone,
but it's funny because what you would have been doing to avoid a cold or a regular flu is the same thing that's gonna save you from.
Oh, no, totally. And like I didn't catch a cold or flu over winter because I literally did all the things that people are learning to do now. I know. So it does work. This is what I would say to people. If you're sort of thinking like, I'll be alright, I don't really do... I've washed my hands after I did that. I'll be alright for a minute. No, genuinely washing your hands does work. Keeping hand sanitizer with you works.
It's crazy when you start thinking about it.
Staying away from people who are sick works. It does work.
I went to the shop this morning and I just consciously was like, how many things do you touch? Like I went in the shop and was like, I'm going to lift this basket here. Stinking. Yeah.
Shopping trolleys. Like you think about
lifted
how
the basket. I was like,
that?
Someone probably took this box of cereal, put it in a lorry, drove it along, took it out again, put it on the thing. Other people maybe looked at it, read it, and I was like, okay. Now, luckily, the ones in the spa looked like they were trying to cover up a murder. They had all the staff in, and they were cleaning all the handles and all up around the doors of the freezers and everything. So that is good at least.
What's lucky for us is where we live. There's lots of local amenities. We have a lot of small shops,
local Armenians.
Even like, not that you can go, they're all closed now, but before that, like lots of small independent family run like coffee shops and places to eat, which was great because they were small, locally, so it is actually kind of good that we can go to smaller shops, and it's not like going to a big Tesco now. I don't think I would even let you go there now.
You wouldn't let me go to Tesco?
Well, I don't know. Just because, what would be the point? There's not even anything you can get there all the time. But again, that's where the whole like the sort of hoarding and bulk buying thing is hard, because say someone like me, for months, even like having a newborn, I would have bought hand sanitizer. Like I bought hand sanitizer and give it to all my family because I was like, I have a newborn. Yeah. And then obviously with me, I needed everyone to like genuinely the measures people are doing now, where if you come in someone's house, you wash your hands. People were doing that into our house because I was there and Eddie was there. So to be fair, everyone takes their shoes off when they come in and all that kind of stuff. People already do that. But I mean, I would have got you to like go, right, buy a big giant pack of toilet roll and a big giant thing of this and a big giant thing of this, because I can't go to the shop, and if Colin's away, I can't get things. So a lot of the time I would have been sending Colin to get, big things, or like grab a load of hand sanitizer or grab a load of stuff like this. I know
I had the woman in Tesco's be like, are you stocking up? And I was like, not really. Like, this
is kind of how we've been living. We've had to kind of like make sure there's plenty of cleaning products and all that stuff in. But what's really hard now is you'll go in and there isn't anything. And for people like us, we really need it. And because we were never really, like, we were getting a wee bits and pieces, a wee bit more than you'd maybe normally get. But I certainly wasn't like bulk buying hand sanitizer. You'd maybe pick up 2 bottles and go, right, probably next week I'll get another couple, or I'll keep a wee tiny stock. Whereas now you're going,
I've got the 2
I
litre.
can't do that anymore.
The 2 litre
Like,
pump in the car.
Yeah, we got like a big one and everything, but we never like overbought anything. So it's a bit scary now when there isn't enough for people like us who really need it. Where it's a little, it's really like important that
we're okay. Like, we're gonna find it. Like,
no, that's
we're
what
not
I mean.
like, like, shout out to the
No,
guy
but-
standing at the end of the queue or at the end of the aisle in Tesco's, just waiting to take a photo of an old person and go like, the state of this country.
I know, but I mean, it did highlight what it's like. People think, oh, who's this really affecting? If you see a photo, of like an old woman who can't buy toilet roll,
Yeah.
or the only thing left is like the most expensive version of everything,
Yeah.
which might be way out of their budget. It kind of wakes people up a wee bit, doesn't it? Also, there's no need really to do that because you're fit and healthy. You can still go to the shop as long as you're being careful. And
I don't give a
keep
pardon the
clean,
pun,
but
I don't give a shit about
just-
toilet roll. You can wipe your hole with fucking anything. I don't give a shit about any of that.
it's more
It's
other
things
things
like baby food.
yeah, like stuff like that.
Stuff like we're not, like, we have a bit of a stockpile there, but then we're also like, just if you're nipping out for something, just grab one.
Yeah.
Like, just get it the way you would get fucking a loaf of bread for the house. Don't go out and clean them out, like buy fucking 50 things of it, which again is a fucking luxury. Not every, people are like have probably having the budget how much food they can buy, and then they can't even get it.
Yeah, but that's where the problem lies. Is like people are like over buying things like pasta or like just staples, say, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for quite a lot of families, that'll be what they mainly can feed their family on. Is like things that are like sort of low budget, so they can make a big meal out of things like pasta and mince and stuff like that. But if everyone's just like buying it all, what's left, and how do they figure out what to do with it?
Yeah.
Also, like, I've heard from a lot of things, even like because nurses would come out to me now and stuff, and they were saying about the amount of kids being off school, and a lot of the time like that's the main time they get fed, which is really scary.
Oh yeah, it's fucking
like
terrifying.
that's the main, like they mainly get most of their food when they go to school, and they maybe don't have that much when they go home. So that's another like weird element to like the schools being off. Obviously they need to be off, but it's a bit like it's a very like sort of
it's crazy.
Various time, isn't it? Really?
Sure, I mean, the whole before coronavirus, it was like getting that way where it was like you'd see kids and like families in food banks down south, and the mums in a nurse uniform.
Yeah, no, it's not someone maybe it's not like you're.
The world. I mean, it
seem like that. You need it.
I've seen just a lot of examples of that recently. Where you're just like, the world is like a fucking harsh place. We do all right. Like, I don't even mean financially. Just
majority
not even financially.
of people
Just
do, but-
everything. Just like support everything.
Yeah.
People are just like have no money, have no one around them, have nowhere to turn, and everything. And you're just, and these are just. I'm not talking like, someone living in a fucking. Squatting in a flat. Just regular fucking people in regular houses are just like, cool. We're just gonna, see if we left any change in the fucking car so that we can like feed these kids.
Do you not think with all this happening, like, as much as it's terrifying, don't get me wrong, because I'm one of the people that obviously does scare, but there's a weird sort of strangeness to all this happening in the world, because it kind of prevents people who live very sort of materialistic or very sort of vain lifestyles, when they can't do that for no reason, or sort of be getting paid ridiculous amounts of money for not doing very much.
Yeah.
Really, this day, especially in the Instagram world, when that's stripped away and people are just left with, you're indoors, you have your family, you need support, you need mental, you do need mental support now.
Well,
you need
like
people to talk to.
It's just like an equalizer. It's like
it kind of takes away all that just madness, where you kind of felt like the internet was kind of taking over the world there for a little minute. And it's kind of stripped everyone back a wee bit.
Well, I seen
it's
it. Well,
weird,
yeah,
isn't it,
you're all in the same boat now. But I seen the guy who owns Diamond Supply Company, and he was like, we can't go into the house, and then let's start the hashtag flex from home, and it was like him with his fucking sneakers up, like probably worth a fortune, just watching his giant TV in a fucking $1 million mansion in LA, and you're like, don't start that shit. That's so gross, like. But yeah, everyone's the same. But then everyone kind of nearly does pull together a wee bit, which is like literally like that book Tribe that I read, where it was like people miss days. You know, they'll be like, oh, I miss the war because everyone was fucking nice to each other or something. Or people like fantasize or like romanticize like the time right after 9/11 because New York was like such a pleasant place to
people
be.
were kind to each other.
Everyone
for
was
a while.
fucking sound. Everyone fucking
Yeah.
hero worshipped like firemen and stuff like that. But yeah, it just fucking, it just strips
Well,
everything back,
anything-
and you're just like, well, and especially like, you know, talking to some people we've been talking to today, and they were talking about different types of businesses and everything, and you're like, yeah, that's the business fucked, and they're more worried about staff than the overall business. I wonder, is there something going on where it's like, because everything just drops away at once, like the floor just falls away. Like, is everyone can everyone kind of be cool with each other for a wee minute? Is there gonna be some fucking rules made up where people are like, okay, the game has been paused for a minute?
Well, that's the problem right now because Boris hasn't actually sort of officially made things like, you know, have to close.
Yeah,
And the problem being is, say, like
places are
restaurants
staying open.
No, not that. Well, yeah, that's a problem because places should, you know, for health reasons be closed. But the problem is, as a business, if you're like a hotel, if you're a restaurant, if you're a nightclub, if you're whatever, you can't claim off your insurance for like, you know, what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's actually really undermining a lot of businesses because if he had announced that like yes, businesses have to close, then everyone's on kind of a bit more of a level playing field to go. You can kind of go, right, well, it's
'Cause
hard to
people are
pay
gonna-
your rent, your
people, like,
rates, or your
morally,
staff.
people are gonna be like, this is the correct thing to do. And if they turn around and go, is there like cover for this? People are gonna go, well, no, you didn't have to close. You could have stayed open. Even though
that is the thing,
though it literally would fucking
Yeah.
damage your business because people would fucking shit talk you, which I've seen online. Like there's certain bars in Belfast have remained open, and for
it's
Paddy's Day,
terrible.
people are like, what the fuck are you doing?
And the thing is, people will go to it. Of
course they will.
But this is the thing as well. The leveler here is when this all, you know, hopefully fixes itself, and at some point everything can start to build itself back up again. The businesses who shut voluntarily because of the good of the people, I would hope anyway that most people would prefer to support them after than the ones who just kind of are in it now to go, oh well, there's a bit of a, we'll stay open.
Yeah, I know,
and
rightly. There's
take
a
the money.
few, there's places that we frequent that, like, you know, once there's a bit of fucking, once the sort of, you know, the fucking epidemic, what's the word, pandemic? You know, there's a bit of relief from that. Places will be booming.
Well, hopefully, because I mean, I said this today. I was like, there's like a few places near us that we love to go for like food and coffee and everything. And I was like, as soon as this is all over, especially because I'll be done with treatment and I'll be allowed, you know, hopefully by then, allowed to, you know, able to go out more. I was like, the first thing I want to do is go to those businesses and buy lunch every day to support them.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to do that. Like, you know, if everyone is in the same boat, it would be good to sort of start spending a bit of money locally again. Like, that's what people should do.
Yeah.
Try and support things here.
Like Tesco's is grand.
You know, you can buy everything on Amazon, of course you can.
In fact, Tesco's not
But-
fucking done very well out of this.
Well, it's not even that, but yeah, you know, if you can go to a local shop where you know it's like a family, you know, it could be a Spar, but like it's usually owned by a local family. Like,
Yeah.
go somewhere close to you. Go to a coffee shop that isn't, you know, that's, you maybe know that someone's opened, you know, or
Yeah.
try and like spend your money well when this is over, and it maybe would help everyone because you know then they'll be able to spend money on something else, and everyone, you know, hey, I'm no economist, you know, that's how money works obviously, but you know, it does help if everyone did that. I think.
Do you know what's pissing me off, and I can't stop thinking about it?
But you're watching a YouTube video while you're doing
I am.
this, by
I'm
the
trying-
way.
I'm
You're
trying to watch-
absolutely mesmerized with this video in the background.
No, but like, do you know what drives me nuts? The sound is not as good on this, and all I can hear is both of us yapping at each other, and it's driving me fucking nuts. The other one, nice and
know.
oh my god.
Oh, sorry.
What I was gonna say on my podcast. Moin's had a couple of drinks now, he's getting violent. No, I'm joking. I'm such a cunt. Such a cunt.
Yeah.
It's been a long day, Moin. I meant to do this podcast 20 hours ago. The Spar down here reduced the price of pasta
Oh.
and said you're only allowed to buy 2 bags of this. Look at my dad. Maureen's going for her last treatment, is she? That's good news. Yeah. Yeah.
Very big message.
It's all anyone's talked about since the first one. Pay attention. Fucking hell. Family, who needs them? What are we talking about? Yeah, they were.
Just by people being nice to each other pulling together.
I'm too warm. I've had too much caffeine. We'll let it all up it out. Make me still look good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Are people going to be more sound? Who knows?
I don't know, but you do. I think when these things happen, you see the best or the worst in people, you know? It's really nice when you see, like, communities coming together, or, like, there's a lot of local places near us, or, like, sort of saying, like, oh, we'll deliver food to anyone who needs it, or we'll do this, or, you know, loads. I've seen so much of it, and it's so nice, and you're so right. Like, there was probably a real, like, lack of community, you know, in a lot of places, you know?
I seen... Literally, I've seen it a few times. It's people doing like a false kind of trying to look good thing, because they've literally offered a thing and then on the other hand just completely flipped how they've. Do you know
What
what
do
I
you
mean?
mean? You've seen this happen right now?
Yeah, I don't want to give any specifics
Oh,
out,
really?
but I've seen people be like, I can do this, and then their attitude changed to fuck this thing, fuck this
Oh, really?
disease. I have a gig on, come to it. You know, like, we should all stay safe, blah, de blah. You know, I own a van. To, you know, like, fuck, like, literally turn into
like,
fucking Aunt Middleton. Fuck this disease, guys.
Yeah, don't even take it seriously.
Don't take it
whatever.
seriously. Don't let it rule your life. Get to my gig and fucking blah, de blah. And you're like, what are you
silly.
doing, man?
Well, there you go.
But
But
you see-
it's
but it's the
you can see through what
You
people
see,
really want.
any fucking epidemic, you know what I mean? Whether, you know, there's a massive trend in like mental health and everything, and you see people jump on that,
Yeah.
and you know people, it doesn't matter a fuck, like.
Well, yeah, they're sort of saying about the whole, like, you know, recently it was the Be Kind campaign and everything after Caroline Flack,
Yeah.
you know, and then it turned around to, like, people literally, you know, buying all the toilet rolls so people can't buy, you know what I mean? Like, just hoarding for themselves. Like, it's total greed, total, like, I'm
Yeah.
only thinking about myself.
Everyone be kind,
myself,
and then
my
I'm literally
family.
like pushing an old woman's face
Yeah,
to
like,
get a
I'm
toilet
not
roll.
even considering how effective this has. Yeah, so it's like, that's what
How
I'm saying.
weird
Like,
is the toilet roll thing, though?
it makes no sense, but apparently it's because if someone sees someone else panic buying, hoarding something, it's human nature to go, I must need to do that. So then when you go in a shop and don't see any toilet roll, you go, well, I need to buy loads. So there's a continuum of, like, just a group mentality thing where people see someone
it's
doing
so
it,
like
and
it's
then
like
people continue to do it.
It's like a sales pitch.
You're not going to run out of toilet roll. It's, you know,
Do you know, like, if you had
you can go buy at any time you could buy more toilet roll.
do you know, like, if you had like a shop or something, you just paid a mob to, like, run in and fight each other and steal your shit, and everyone will be like, I need that, and then they all just run in and get the thing.
It's weird, isn't it?
Someone showed a clip earlier, and it was a load of monkeys, and there was they were feeding them somewhere, and they had a big tray of, like, it looked like wee baps, but I don't think it was. It was like peeled fruit or something, and they all ran up, and they were like, maybe you could take some lessons from the animal kingdom. Watch how they only take what they need. And the monkey runs up and grabs one, grabs another one, runs away. You know, they're not like fighting each other. They're just running over to the pile, taking something and running away. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know what that was supposed to what point they were trying to make there, but it was deep. It was pungent.
Well, there was I seen a thing, and it was like an experiment where they had a group of people in a line, and they were asking them a question.
Yeah.
And the other ones were actors, and they would all say the wrong answer on purpose. And the one guy there, like the test subject, would know that that's the wrong answer, but to not seem like he stuck out, would say the wrong answer on purpose to go
fit in with the crowd.
Oh, yeah, it's, you know, whatever. The
Yeah.
answer was, and they did this on purpose, and because people would rather be wrong and part of the group than to do something different and be like, hold on, I don't need to do it.
For sure.
So it's a bit weird, like, so, do you know, because the thing is, this is gonna go on for a while. It's not gonna be 1 week. So either people's mentality is you need to hoard completely because they're never going to leave their house. But the thing is, you can leave your house if you're well, or someone can leave your house, or, you know, get food, and shops will be safe enough to go, and they'll make sure everything's clean. Mm-hmm. So you don't really need to stockpile. Like, the only people you really need to stockpile is if you're if you're going, I'm self-isolating here for 2 weeks, I'm not going to leave my house. But again, there's only so much toilet roll you're going to need for like 2 or 3, even a month. You would know how much toilet roll your family might need for a month. It's not going to, you don't need a supply
and as
of
the food
6
supply
months,
dips, the amount of shitting's going to go down. So you're going to be all good.
But there's no there's nothing wrong with the supply of any food or
Like
household items. I've
like
said
the
that, haven't I?
stockpiling of
Think so.
baby food, I was a wee bit concerned. I was like, I wouldn't mind having as much of this as I can get my hands on without ripping the piss out of it.
Yeah.
Without just buying the fucking unopened crate in like
Yeah, but
Tesco's.
we maybe have enough for like a certain amount of weeks because you would eat like one a week probably. But it's not like we're going. If there's say there was 10 boxes, it's not like we're going. Well, we're taking all 10. I would
Yeah.
go. Well, I'll take 2 of them then. If there's only 10 boxes here, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be to me that's how people should deal with it.
Yeah.
It's not like you can't stock up on things. Absolutely, because we've had to do that too. Like a certain amount of time, we can't just go out to the shop all the time. And I don't really want you. I want to limit the amount of time you have to sort of go to the shop or be away from me. Like so, do you know what I mean? But you just use your common sense to go like, okay, how much is here? Maybe we'll all just take enough. But you know what I mean? Isn't it weird though how like you look back on like a certain number of weeks ago and you're going like, do you remember when you could just go to the shop and everyone just bought what they needed for that week?
Yeah.
It's not like that now. People are just going, no, you need to just.
Well,
everything's stocked.
it's killing
So
me
there's
because
so many
you
weird
know
things
my
happening
my
now.
favorite thing to do is go to the shop 7 times a day.
Yeah, 12 times a
And
day.
spend 25, 30 pound a time and bring home stuff, and it kind of evaporates. You go, well, did you buy anything for dinner? And you go, no. What'd you pay for it? I don't know.
I know. I don't know how you
don't
do it.
know.
You like to go to the shop for each meal.
I do.
But also, do you
And I
not
have
think
4 or 5 meals a day.
what I'm hoping as well is like, you know, a lot of people probably, there is a lot of food wastage now and there's a lot of stuff thrown out and everything. People, if you are not wanting to go to the shop as much and say like, you're like, oh, you know, there's a shortage of pasta. People hopefully now will actually make food and try and like, you know, the way they did, you know, years ago where it was like, you couldn't throw out food. You would try and make sure you reused it or did something with it. It was a lot more precious.
Or learn to cook, or learn to make pasta.
Or learn
Like,
to make something, or learn to do something
remember
different,
watching,
or remake it
um,
into another meal.
I remember we had a class in school called Life Skills,
Cute.
of which, and from that, I learned nothing.
I
did
can tell.
We did a class. No, they weren't teaching much, is what I'm saying. Fuck you. They were teaching things. Or I remember they had like a class sort of election thing, and you had to get like a head of class. What do you call that? Like class principal, or what do you call it? Class.
I don't know. I didn't
President?
school. President. Okay.
And you know, everyone had to do their own wee pitch, and this girl said, "Oh, I think I'd be good at this because whatever, and I'm very popular." And everyone laughed so hard at her, and she cried
Oh.
because she said she was popular. You know what I mean?
But I
You're
mean,
in
this was back in the day. We weren't allowed to be popular. Now you're allowed to be like, look how great I am.
yeah, and you could bully back then, and no one batted an eyelid. But
Yeah.
I remember her talking about like benefits and how much money you actually really get. And, do you know what? You're still, I can remember because you're still too young for it not to matter to. Like you were literally like, can I buy a Red Bull? I'm rich. You know what I mean? Like, can I get the bus into town on Saturday with my 14-year-old mates and like buy, you know, like one T-shirt? And you'd be like, I'm flexing. You didn't really understand money. You didn't understand that they were going, oh, this is how much you get if you're like on the dole. And then the sort of meals you were supposed to be able to cook. And I remember talking about like, it was a, you know, like whatever shop, like a maxed out shopping that you could do for this amount of money. And you buy, you know, it was all lentils and rice and everything. And she was going like, yeah, but that depends on whether you can actually cook a lentil dal or something.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's like you could eat really well if you knew how to cook, but most people are just like, oh, I just pour the sauce on the pasta and that's it. And it goes on the hob and it burns in and it's there forever, like a fucking fossil. I was going home from somewhere once and Aaron was was living in this student house with all these women, which you think was a sweet deal, but you forget women are disgusting. You know, like girl students.
A lot of the time can be.
Piglets. I needed to piss so bad. There was no one in this house at the time. They were all in bed or out or something. And I was like, I need to piss in there. We're driven back from wherever. And I ran into the student house. And I swear to God, the hob just had a year's worth of Dolmio just burnt into it. Like just burnt and then reduced and then burnt into it again. Literally, like, you would have needed a fucking chisel to get it off, like. And they threw up. But yeah, learn to cook.
What's your point? Yeah, okay. Learn to cook, yeah.
I was just saying how gross people are. But yeah, maybe actually use this time locked away to fucking learn how to cook. People are very wasteful. I'm wasteful,
That's what
but
I'm saying. Maybe
but I
it'll
can't
make
cook.
people less wasteful.
I'm the king of like, you know, oh, I've got toothpaste, mustard, 2 Weetabix, and a fucking tin of tuna, and I'll come back in. It's a
Hey,
feast.
this is why Ready Steady Cook's back on, and you should go on it because you would be so good at that.
I'm not joking. I could do both teams' jobs in like 5
You
minutes.
would. You'd be so annoyed that they were even taking too long.
I'm the king. Like, whenever I was in, there was no, that didn't expand at all, that sentence. I'm just the king. But literally, I could be like, oh, I've got a wee bit of this, and come back in, and it's just.
Oh my God, you're
it's
so
just-
good at it.
I'm good at it.
Yeah. Now, but on the flip side, you do also, if you make something, you never want to eat it again. So, like, if we made something and it was for like dinner and there was leftovers, you wouldn't eat it the next day. You're like, no, I don't eat that. Whereas now, we're being a bit more sensible.
What, like?
Say, like, I made bolognese yesterday.
fuck
We
have I
ate it
ever-
today.
Yeah,
Again.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas before, you would have been like, no, I don't eat that. We would have had so many different meals that were like, well, that was from this day, that was from this day, and I have to give it to other people. Being
Yeah.
like, call me a vat of food for 9 people, and there's 2 of us, and
Sometimes I
he
do feed
does
9
not
people.
ration food.
Sometimes I do feed 9 people though. Sometimes your
Sometimes,
family come
but-
up, you know, and I've spent like a lot of money on like loads of meat or something, and they eat it all, and I'm happy about that.
And sometimes, do you not go down and raid my mum's house for meat like a little angry pig on the loose?
No, your mum will just deliver meat up.
That's
She'll
true.
just go, I just thought I would get you this, you know, pork fillet.
I like how we're arguing about meat right now. And this is what happens when you're married, guys.
Well, as long as the podcast's really, really funny, that's okay. Dirty Beth.
What?
This is a sex position.
Okay, what?
During intercourse, 2 men penetrate the vagina. 2 men penetrate the anus, completing the fabled quadruple penetration. All of the men then ejaculate into a bucket, which already contains urine and poop. Then, at the appropriate time, she is lifted upside down and her head is dipped in the bucket. After dipping, all of the men puke on her furniture. Wow, the dirty Beth. Okay, and then this guy just sent me a load of sex stuff. Shout out to the life of the funeral. What's this? Black prisoner bodysuit. Cool.
Come on, will you please stop asking people to send you stuff
I
like
didn't
this?
ask him this at all. Say no more.
Well, can people please stop sending you this?
Cure for
'cause I don't want you
coronavirus
to
is getting
even-
fucked by a pog.
What?
I don't even know. That was a bad one. Let me play this. This was during
What are you playing?
this is a real serious
Okay, this is not something weird then. Okay.
no. This is a real serious chat about coronavirus, and somebody left the mic on.
Antibiotic-resistant disease. It probably will be at some point. My mother has fought a
Basically guy went to the toilet,
Right.
still has mic on.
infection. I have a high school friend whose 3-year-old son almost died from C. diff, and he will be dealing with the consequences of that for the rest of his life. But the thing is that these deadly infections, there's something we can do about it. And what we can do is call on governmental representatives that are higher up the chain of command.
Oh no. So they can actually hear it, is the thing? Oh no.
But just her maybe.
And ask for action at the federal level. I am aware of Mr. Brainerd's concerns that he raised last time, and there would be instances where I actually agree that we should take action locally first, but there are not any KFO operations in Georgetown, so for us to just say it within the city limits would
Oh gosh. Did he come back now?
I think so. This guy
be an empty gesture.
this guy's dropping logs.
So,
Oh, he comes back.
and also these diseases don't know any boundaries. So a state by state approach would just mean that there'd be clusters of disease that would sorry,
Now did you hear Marshall's
Let's go.
answer or no?
cross the border. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking.
There. Now, did you hear a bunch of farts there, or was it coming through the wrong ear for me? Did you hear a bunch of farts?
I don't know if I did hear first.
I've been fucking. I've been lied to then. Someone sent me a version of that, and it was literally like all these farts. So someone's tampered with that, and I'm fucking raging. Now I'm fucking raging. Anyway, we'll get to some questions. Well, we have so many questions. I might not answer them all right now. I might wait and answer.
Scatter them throughout the week, sure.
Well, I think they'll continue to come in. Now, here's a real interesting question, just to lighten the mood. If you had to choose to die from any disease, what would it be? Go ahead, over you, Maureen.
I feel like this is not a great question for me,
Yeah, but it's a weird one to ask from someone, is it? What's
given that I'm already going through chemo and then
Yeah.
now there's another deadly
you don't
disease
want,
going around.
Yeah,
so
you don't want to die of that or the other one. It's a fun one. Not allergy. Just eat a Snickers and fucking die.
No, that's not great. No, that wouldn't be great at all.
Bit of fluff just floating through there. What disease do you want to die for? Obesity. It's a fun one.
No. No, I think
Alcoholism.
If
That's
you're
a
gonna
disease.
die from something stupid, it'd be like snake bite. Something really crazy where like, oh my god, snake bit you and just went,
Shark attack.
I don't know. That's a really weird question.
It is a weird question.
Because I don't think anyone wants to die from disease. Everyone wants to like just live a full long life, you know what I mean?
Live a full blown life. Just.
You want to beat diseases, you don't really want to have them and die, you know, let's be honest.
Chlamydia. What did everyone have? What did everyone have back in the day?
What?
That made them go crazy and everything. What's that movie with fucking Johnny Depp in it? And what do they all die of? Gonorrhea.
I don't know what you're talking about, so I don't know.
The movie's called From Hell.
Okay.
So, what's the behavior? What's with the behavior of all the Brits in Benidorm? Have you seen that?
No.
There's basically just a load of fat English cunts that look like me walking down the street with bum bags on, and everyone's like, "Could you please go back to the hotel, please?" And they're like, "Fuck that."
Really?
Yeah. But sure, if they die, who gives a fuck anyway? You know what I mean? What do you lose? A racist English soccer fan?
Well, this is the thing. What if this is some sort of like weird evolutionary thing where like
It just wipes out the tards.
if you are stupid enough not to take advice here, then what more could anyone have done for you?
Well, yeah, I
If
mean,
you could prevent this from happening to yourself, do you know what I mean?
yeah, well, it's
Is there
not.
a weird,
It's
is there a
not
weird
at
sort
the
of
minute.
like morality to that?
At the minute, it's just advice. It's not like the law. People are just
No, it's
going,
not
I
law.
suggest you stay inside. So if there's some big fucking like lager light just flying around Benidorm, let them die.
But the thing is, it's not like some sort of like assassination where someone just dies. It's like stupid people could be the reason that vulnerable people be infected.
True.
And that is
and
very selfish.
Because like, you know, doctors can't just let people die. They're going to have to treat them. And these fucking idiots are going to like clog up hospitals.
The problem is, if it gets too bad, they have to start figuring out who to treat and who not to treat.
Well, that's what's happening in Italy now. I was talking to Ross from Material Goods, my t-shirt guy. And he's like, I was listening to this thing from the Telegraph or something, or the Daily Mail or something. And it was like, they have a podcast or something. And they were talking to Italian doctors who were like, there are certain people we have to prioritize.
Yeah.
And they're basically just like, which ones did they just let die in the corner, basically?
Yeah, there's a cut off ages and all sorts of weird things. It's not very nice.
Cut off ages, and yeah, I mean that's what I seen in that documentary from China.
And by the way, it's the age
China.
of most people, like our age as parents. It's not that
Yeah.
old. It's a bit scary.
But I seen things in China where they were just like, in that documentary I watched, where they were just like, it was like spinning plates. They were like, "Are you okay?" Running over to this one. "Is this one okay?" Back to this one. "Oh fuck, they died while I looked away for a second."
Really?
There was
Okay, I
just-
don't want to know any of this because
There was just so many people.
Right, that's enough
You'll
scary
be all
things.
right. You'll be all right.
That's enough scary talk for now, I think.
Where
Everyone knows what's happening.
I'm only coughing because there's a electric heater on in here, and there's
Well, turn it off.
It's dry as a nun's chafe. That's French for pergina. What about that weekend? Just Google perginas.
Wonder Woman's vaginas. Oh, I know. Cute.
I remember, or I was listening to Tom the Bear's podcast he does with Owen Colgan from fucking Hardy Bucks, and he was saying, yeah, he thought it was like a vagina till he was, because he was like, oh, I didn't fucking even go with a girl till he was like whatever age, because he's like, he lives so rural.
Really?
He goes, it wasn't even like I wasn't trying. He goes, there was just no one about.
There just was no one,
He
yeah.
goes, just geographically and numbers wise, there was fucking nobody. You wouldn't get the Corona out there, or the ride, but that's like me just hearing a bunch of guys when I was younger saying Harlon,
I love this.
and they like thought that it was Harlon, and I didn't even know what the fuck they were talking about. So I was like, oh, he's got a Harlon.
Instead of Parla.
Yeah, But
A Harlon?
but they were saying it like, bro, I get Harlons and I fucking stick my Harlon in these chicks, and they didn't even know what they were. They didn't even know what they were saying, like. You know, but I felt they were like bullying me because you were like, mate, you don't even know what a Harlon is. And I was like, well, of course I don't. No one does. The fuck's a Harlon? I've got an absolute boomer over here.
That's so funny.
Harlon, like. Real cool guys around my street. You know, guy threw a screwdriver once, killed a bee. That was the that was a big day where I was from.
Killed a bee.
He just, it was literally like a bit in fucking
Stop it.
Napoleon Dynamite. We're just sitting around so bored one day, and outside this guy's garage, the garage door open, he just threw it and knocked the bee out, and we were like, oh, you know that meme with all the black guys.
Chances of that even happening?
If you threw it at a bee, pretty high, but just the accuracy is like incredible. He was a hero. The plaque's still there outside the garage. Chrissy the bee killer. You know, 1998.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really grow up near anyone, to be fair. People close enough by, but I just had cousins, do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you have too many siblings and cousins to need friends.
Yeah, pretty much, like.
It's good. It is actually good that way because you lose touch with people, and you get different interests, and you just don't get along
You mean
anymore.
like friends, whereas
Yeah,
like family,
whereas
you
your
kind
family,
of always
you're
see
kind
them.
of stuck with them, but it's good that way.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
People are stuck with their families now.
Yeah, I'm stuck with my family and I don't like it. My sister said I think she's been kicked out of work, and she's at home and she sent me a picture. She goes, do you remember our school canteen used to do chicken broccoli bake like this? And I went, yeah. And she made this thing. It looked amazing. She goes, I'm off work now. I'm going to get so fat. Meanwhile, you know, she's very, very slim.
Yeah.
You'd wonder where the genetics come from. But not for long, guys, because
She's getting fat, so she look like you.
I'll tell you what the weird thing is. My ankle's more dainty than hers. She's slim, but she's got like Donald Cerrone calves, and that is niche, bro. That is niche if you look that up. She's got like kickboxer fucking. What is wrong with you?
This microphone's so annoying. Sorry.
I don't know why it's doing that. Mine's fine. Mine stays there. But what the fuck was? Oh yeah,
you getting shredded?
I'm restricting the calories. I mean, I've been dodging
Now,
it.
how long have you been saying this, by the way?
2 days.
No, but in general, like
Yes,
you're
but
always on a new thing that you're doing.
Yes, but here's what I've been doing, right?
Okay, I like that you clicked your pen and you're writing a note.
Here's
about this.
what I've
Okay,
been doing.
Tell me.
Here's
Go.
what I've been doing. I've been looking for an easy path.
Okay.
And the easy path was always, oh, I don't eat carbs. That's not sustainable. I don't eat this. I don't eat this, right? Mm-hmm. Instead, I've just worked out what I ate and then went in the old MyFitnessPal and it suggested a number, and I'm just going to stick to it. And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's what people do. Yeah.
But I've been trying to do all this fancy bollocks.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, the time...
I have told you this, you know that, like, but
Yeah, a fucking fitness coach over there, but I've been trying... I was always looking for something easy to fucking do that would do it really quick and extreme. But the time just goes by anyway, and it's, you know, months and years, and I'm the same fucking weight. So, well, actually, there was a point probably when I stopped boozing so much where I did drop a solid fucking about 1.5 stone and just maintained there, just pure booze weight. But now I'm just like, it's just the time's just slipping by anyway. Mm-hmm. So just count the fucking cat. You know what I mean? I'm just like, just count them. Just do it the hard way.
it's not actually that hard. You know what I mean?
It's
For
not.
you.
It's just a slight. It's just like putting the path off, putting on something off the path by like 2 degrees, and then in like
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
20 weeks it'll be way over here somewhere,
And then
and then you might fucking give me a rest for a second.
what are you talking about?
I don't know. You always slag me, tell me I'm fat, and saying I've dog tits.
No, I was gonna say that. I was literally gonna say you're mainly just doing this to get rid of the dog tits, aren't you?
Imagine you.
That's what me and Colin like to call them, basically. So that we basically
We call
just-
each other's tits dog tits.
just shamed each other into being fitter. So the dog tits are gone. Are they?
It'd be funny if I just got.
What if you got re-ripped and the dog tits stayed?
No, what if I just got really ripped at the front, and then at the sides and back, and everywhere else just stayed fat and gross?
I don't know if that would work like that. So don't worry.
I had seen an episode of the old biggest,
Superfit.
biggest lose. Yeah, that dog with tits, and they got all 8 of them removed, squeezing them dog
And you're
tits
like,
out.
if he can do it, I can do it.
No, what was I gonna say?
Biggest Loser.
Yeah, and there was a guy who was like Samoan,
Right.
and they're naturally big. They naturally carry a lot of weight around the middle.
Uh-huh.
But this guy, and this is pure genetics, right? Because this is just being Samoan. The top of his body, right? Big traps, big fucking shoulders, right? Like a bodybuilder, big arms. You picturing this?
Yeah.
Like ripped, like fucking big, muscly, like that guy is an athlete arms. Big square tits, okay? And then just fat belly. I mean, this is pure Samoan. Big wide legs like this. It was so weird. And you're like, that is just being Samoan. He was like fucking ripped, like veiny in the arms, and then just had that like Samoan grass skirt belly. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, bodies are different, aren't they?
If we've learned
But
anything
you're not
today,
Samoan is the thing.
But I'm not Samoan. No, samosas. I'm Jamoan.
Some Colin.
Were you nervous doing the Odyssey at all? Didn't appear to be, and absolutely smashed it. Was just wondering. Congrats. Cheers, Lee. Any other questions? Was I nervous? Yes. My main concern was that I could get through the gig without collapsing on stage like Tommy Cooper and dying of nerves. Look at your wee tiny face, man. You can't see it, for fuck's sake.
Sorry. The stupid microphone keeps moving.
I've missed a few episodes. I've missed a few episodes of the podcast, but did you ever discuss Tanya Tate's sex tour of Ireland? This porn star bucking old men in a caravan in Limerick, and she's trying to talk dirty. And one goes, "Oh, that's fucking lovely." And she sent a link there, which I don't know if I can click, but I'll not do it since you're here. But yeah, sure. Who's Tanya Tate? We did one on a live podcast. Remember, we talked through this woman she was in Belfast, and she was bucking.
Was that her? No.
I don't know. I can't
Someone
remember.
different?
I can't remember the name, but she was just. It was crap too, you know. But then again, who's going to step forward and try and have sex with a porn star? I hate when people say porn star. She's not a porn star.
Yeah, why are all people in porn stars?
I don't know. She is like a dick sucker on camera. That's what you
Yeah,
are.
would that be the new title for them?
There are porn stars where
They're like a famous name.
they'll do like regular people's podcasts and stuff, and you're like, okay, they're a bit more of a fucking personality.
Yeah.
Also, but then there are people like this girl who literally looks like they dragged her out from behind a bin, Benedict's, and she's like, I'm a porn star. And you're like, no, you're not. You're just willing to take semen on the face.
Yeah. Or a woman who just
You're
has sex with people on camera.
you're a dick sucker on camera. You're not a porn star.
Yeah, where did the star come from?
Have some pride in your work. Am I a comedy star just because I do comedy? The answer is yes, but let's move on. Why is it so? This is from PMG Auto Care. Why is it so enjoyable to be fat, except the being fat bit?
Oh, I know, isn't it?
Now I seen that motherfucker the other day, and he offered me a box of Krispy Kremes, and he's like, "Do you want one of these?" And I was like, "No, yeah, I want 6 of them, but I can't." And he just went, well, and he did that thing where he's like, "Well, I've walked over here now, so now I'll eat one." And some of them you were just like, you're like, I know I'd ejaculate and then I'd fall asleep for 3 hours if I ate that. So one of them looked like it had like caramel over it and then like a smashed up crunchy on top of the donut.
I'm not in the donuts that much.
And then another one, but these are Krispy Kremes, like they're like really good and you just push the whole thing in your mouth. One of them looked like it had glittery pink nail polish on it. It didn't look edible. It looked like, you know what I mean, like shiny. I was like, don't know about that.
So the diet's going well.
Why is it good being fat? Because it's like brainless pleasure.
Well, yeah, it's like instant gratification, isn't it?
Yeah,
food?
you just I'm not thinking about like burr, 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 just keep piling it in.
It's great.
That's one of the things I didn't like.
Nice things.
I didn't like about drinking was if you were drinking in the house, you needed like a fucking, like just a little, I don't know, just a little trough of like stuff to just keep eating the whole time. Beer's a nightmare. Like you get the major.
I know. I've actually had to realize that I'm gonna try and like, sort of, look out at what I'm eating now too. Because for a while I had no appetite, whereas my appetite's fine now. the problem is, before I'd be trying to like, right, okay, I better like eat loads here because I'm feeling okay. I'll really, you know, eat as much as I can. Or if I was still hungry after eating like something, I'd be like, well, I'm gonna eat more of something else just to try and get in some calories. Whereas now I'm going, I really shouldn't do that anymore because I'm just putting on weight now.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Now you're like, I've got to get healthy and chubby and just eat like 2 chocolate oranges after dinner. You're gonna laugh at it. I'm already laughing at this question. maybe discuss how nobody realizes how much new babies fart until you have one. And have you been hit in the face by him peeing yet? Nah. That's always a nice wee wakener. I thought that said wanker, but it says wakener. Face the camera more. No one can see anything.
So much. It's hilarious.
And even sometimes, like, since Eddie started sleeping, right, you'll hear him at night, like, and he does this thing like, where he's on his back and he goes, because he wants to turn, but he can't quite do it. And then he literally be like, fully asleep. And you're like, was that what all the stress was for?
Eddie farts so much that, you know, the little sleep bags the babies go in? We call it a fart bag because he literally
Why are you so loud every time you talk about it?
He farts so much.
Yeah, the little sleeping bag you put him in, we've said it so much now that it's part of the vernacular, and we're like,
yes.
where's the fart bag?
Where's his fart bag?
Did you wash that fart bag? Where is it? It's on the radiator.
It's so
Where's
funny.
the fucking fart bag?
I just love when you lift him up after feeding him and he like just burp right in your ear and then fart straight away.
Yeah, he's done
like at the same time.
And he's a brilliant baby, like he doesn't cry much, but for some reason, and I just think he's too excited, when you're preparing to feed him, like if you can hear the beeps of the bottle machine, but then you hold him in a certain position and you're trying to put a bib on him, he's like, like he knows you're about to feed him.
He screams at you because
and he gets so impatient, like, and then you're like, as soon as you get the bottle in his mouth, he's like quiet, and then sometimes you have to like take it out to burp him like halfway through, and when you take it out, he's like, and that's the time when he sits up with, and he's like,
it's so
just
funny.
all the fluids and air leaving him from all directions, like. But there was one night you were asleep and he was asleep and I just couldn't really sleep, and that I nearly pissed myself.
It's funny because you know why? Because when you're holding a baby, a lot of the time you're holding them like by their bum, so they're just constantly farting in your hand. It's so funny.
It nearly blows your hand off.
It's actually hilarious.
AC McGov, do you think Irish/British people will respect the stay the fuck at home thing, or will they need to bring in permission slips like in France? Or would they even work? I don't know what that is. Permission slips in France, you heard of that?
No.
Do you have to sign a form to leave the house or something?
I think there's definitely more regulated in other places where you're not allowed out, like they patrol the streets and stuff. Like you're not allowed to leave, and you may be only allowed to go to shops at certain times. But if people were sensible, it mightn't get to that. We could maybe do it so that only well people go out, and there's maybe a bit more distancing in shops. I think there probably should be a system where it's like you have to queue maybe a certain distance and maybe only let one person in and shop and then leave.
Yeah.
And, you know, there might have to be something like that for a while.
Even like a fucking, you know, like when you go to the Hatch at a 24-hour.
I was thinking that
and they've got a bunch of staff and you just give them your order.
Yeah,
they go get it.
Even if you were on a page and be like, here's what I need, and then they just come and bring it back to you.
And you know, someone will write it down in dirty old snotty tissue and be like, take that.
But you know, if that's what it takes to like.
Yeah, people don't take things seriously, and they're just like, you know, fuck it, sure, it'll be alright. No, sure, don't let that stop me. Sure, I was in fucking Oxygen 2000, whatever, I'll not get this. And you're like, bro, you're not being hard. Also, you think you're being hard, but you're not. You're being a cock.
Most people saying that, it won't affect them, because if they got it, they might just feel a bit like shit for a week. Like they might get a cold, you know, like feel like they're a bit sick or whatever.
Am I out of shot there?
No, not totally. But the problem is, and the people don't realise this, is they're not the problem. It's people like me with a low immune system. It's old people who can't deal with it. So people think of your grandparents, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if you're lucky enough to have them. Or your parents, a lot of them are an age where it mightn't be great. Or people with cystic fibrosis, people with diabetes. It's like, it's those people that it affects. So it's actually a bit arrogant to go around like, no, I'll be alright. Yeah, you know, I'll be fine. But you might be fine. That's alright for you to say, because you're not 21. Of course you can go out.
You're not being a pussy by like shutting your fucking business. You're being considerate. That's what it is at the minute.
But like, or just be like, but like young people going out to pubs and stuff, and you're like, you actually can make, by literally doing nothing, you can make a huge difference to this.
And that's the
And you
thought
have
that
to be
I've had in my
selfless.
head my whole life. That's the attitude I've rolled with.
What?
Just do nothing and you'll be very helpful.
Do nothing.
Deadly, I have a question. Do you think there's a certain age you should stop playing games? Because some men think it's wild gay. But sure, you can't put an age on having the crack on Xbox, can you? Or am I a wee boy in a man's body with low testosterone? Cheers.
You're not the right person to ask because you don't play games.
I don't play games, motherfucker. I have never, ever been into computer games.
You're leaning completely. You're like leaning out.
Well, have I done it the whole time?
I don't know. Maybe.
You see, this is what I had to do sometimes. Sometimes we should angle this table so that you don't look like I'm sitting here with a child. You sit in this.
Right, well, these are stupid chairs. They don't fit together.
Well, had you come to my office today,
Right.
where it was a perfect setup, I had to go to Belfast, drive it all back
Right.
for you.
Yes. For our child because he can't leave.
Yeah. But I told you we could leave him by himself with a little bowl of nuts beside him, and he would have been fine. You know? Flip's sick. Anyway, move closer. You're too small.
I can't move closer.
No, I've never played games. See all that shit with fucking headset and you're like slabbering to strangers while you're playing a war game. Not having it.
I'm quite glad you're not into computer gamey stuff.
Or football or any of that shit.
You're not into football. You don't watch football matches. Nothing.
No, like, could you imagine if I was walking around angry in the house because Liverpool just lost or some shit?
I seen how you paused there to try and think of a team there.
No, what I was actually thinking was I just walk around the house angry anyway.
Just most of the time.
Football or no football.
Yeah. Imagine you actually got angry about sports. That you'd be a nightmare.
I do like watching fights, but I feel like that's the ultimate sport.
But then I kind of like watching them too.
I like rugby too, sort of, but not that much.
But not the way that like people are like obsessed with like a football team. Like their happiness genuinely, is correlated to how well their team is
and also
like you're not like that.
If you're a grown man with like your name on the back of a football top, you shouldn't be wearing a football top. Because no one's in good enough shape to wear it. Everyone that wears a football top is a fat bastard.
Has dog tits.
Has fucking 2 rows of dog tits down the front and back.
Yeah.
And they're still going, we lost at the weekend there, Jim, so it did. Lost what? You got me losing anything? Gaining?
What do you think is the cutoff for playing computer games then? Is there a cutoff?
Honestly,
Like, how do you do it if you're like playing it your whole like teenage life? Like, how do you not
get a fucking job? Here's the thing. If you're playing it like, you're like, right, I went to work and I came home and I fucking had some dinner, went to the gym after work, and you're like, I just play this before I go to bed, basically. I don't really see anything wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I suppose it's just like anything. If it rolls into like addiction,
Yeah.
or if it's like, there's plenty of couples where like the guy is just like, or the girl are just like, I've come home from work and I go straight on a fucking Xbox, and you're just like, I was just wondering if, and you tap them on the shoulder, if we could go to such and such, and they're like, fucking stop it, fucking stop it, I'm trying to kill fucking Russians here. Oh, you made me fucking lose. It's weird.
Yeah.
And none of them are games, like Mario Kart, fun.
Yeah.
None of that shit where you're like designing a character and disappearing into it for fucking 10 years. Just play Tetris and fuck up. Just play a bit of Tetris.
I mean, but this is why humans are weird, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
Like,
shite.
we'll sit there and make like an animated version and live in a different world and be like, perfect, that's how we live, instead of actually living actual life. It's weird. People would prefer to play in virtual reality.
I don't blame them because most people's lives are shit.
I know, but that's what's quite sad,
Like I've
Not actually really your life.
the older I've got, enjoyed the sort of like escapism of like a sci-fi film.
Which is hilarious because as soon as
'Cause
you
I
become a
never-
dad, you're like, I like sci-fi.
Do you know what it
You
is?
never like
Do you know what it
sci-fi?
is though? It's quite like, I seen that Ad Astra thing, and it's quite it's like, what do you call it, ASMR or something? It's quite like mentally relaxing for me to see those big spacey imageries.
Imagery things. Cute.
I quite like that, like the
Yeah.
big fucking, landscapes and
Yeah.
I quite like that as a like calming thing.
See, I was quite like
Now,
that.
this is odd.
You'd never wanted to watch.
This is Ad Astra, where fucking, you know,
I haven't seen that.
he finds a space shuttle and they break into it, which had like experimental fucking chimps going into space, and the chimps have eaten the faces off all the astronauts, and you're like, that was a fucking left turn in the space movie. There's a fucking thing full of apes. And you're like, how's there not shit everywhere? That's all I could think. Why is there not shite everywhere? Something
So
that...
hopefully that answers your question.
Well, I can't even remember what the question was. Computer games?
Yep.
Right, we'll do a couple more questions, then we'll get out of here and we'll save the rest for tomorrow. How did you come up with Barry the Blender? Was there a person who inspired the character? Not really, no.
Was it just all made up from stuff?
I mean...
Was it like different thing? Do you like
Oh,
pull
yeah,
it
it
from
was
different people you saw? Like real life people or
Um,
why did you? You I can't even remember, can you?
I know, like, it was definitely influenced by a handful of comedy things that I already watched.
But the actual character itself.
The actual
though?
character was just like...
You just thought it was a funny accent, didn't you?
Yeah, but I knew it didn't really sound exactly like an accent from a very certain place. It was
you
like
wanted
such
to
a
be
mixture
like,
of
like a
things.
mixture.
But I don't
Yeah.
know, it's just...
I love when people come up to you and go, "You're from like wherever, Ballymena," and
Mm.
you'll tell them, "No, I'm not from Belfast," and they'll say, "No, you're not. You're from." And you're like, "What?"
Well, that hasn't happened in years.
They
Like,
keep
but
telling. No, I know, but I mean, when people used to come up thinking that, it used to be hilarious. You're like, "It's made up,"
you know,
and there was never any mention of an actual location. You know, like, no, it's definitely here. Like,
I mean, it's
no.
funny because people were like, "Oh, do you not do that anymore? And do you not do any of that shit?" And like, I, you know, you accidentally watch a bit of it from years ago, and you're like, "What a load of shit!"
Yeah, but you've moved on,
The
Jimmy. That's
fuck
why
is wrong with you, gimps?
you've done it. It's been 10 years.
It was
since you've done
bad. Like, something that triggers me is people acting like they can cook, but the cunts just be putting pasta and sauce in a pot and boiling it, fucking stick it on their story, and they're all like, "Meal for one, bitches." It is true. Not a lot of people can cook, and it's, you know, it's all this girl power shit where people are like, "Oh, I can't cook. I refuse to cook." You know, if you can't cook, you're fucking retarded, and your parents didn't parent you right. It's a fucking life. You should be able to cook. You should be able to cook well. If you're like 30, you should be able to cook someone a lovely meal, male or female.
Yeah, I can't, like, I mean, I would never say I'm a good cook, but like, there's people who actually couldn't cook. Like,
No,
they
there's
would
people-
literally sit there waiting for their dinner to arrive.
Yeah, I don't know how you could live like that. You know, sitting there at the table like,
Like, where's my
"Where's
dinner?
my dinner?" You're a fucking mouth
Like-
breather, like.
Anyone I know, most men I know are all brilliant cooks, actually. Or, like, you know, would make plenty of stuff and be making as much stuff as anyone
Well,
else.
except the real man, like your dad. He's very much like,
Yeah, you know, he's like,
"What have
beans
you?
and toast.
What have you
He's
cooked?
about it.
What have you cooked me?" No, but
Yeah,
no,
but-
that's
To be fair, as we all say, like, he's very useful at others,
yeah, but
everything
no,
else. So
he
apparently-
can cook. He just doesn't like doing it.
Yeah, he did make what was it he made? It was
I
like
think
a
he has-
tuna bake or something one day, and I'm not joking.
He has
I've
pi-
never seen him more proud.
I think he has PTSD from having to cook for all yous whenever your mum was in having Susie or something. And he says,
Yeah,
I don't like doing it. It reminds me of a bad time, which might be like just
Could be.
good psychology, you know, like people are like, "Oh, don't leave him to cook. It makes him
Yeah.
sad."
Yeah.
But he can cook because he's, you know, like barbecue for everybody and stuff. But then that's
Yeah.
just being a man. You can barbecue. Now I can cook like fuck. I'm better at cooking than I am at comedy, at
Yeah, but
podcasting,
there's-
at anything else.
Yeah, no, you actually
Except
are
one day I
very
chopped
good
an
cook.
onion, and then a chef from like some fucking 5-star restaurant in Fermanagh was like, "Oh, you fuck, what's this, abortion of a fucking thing?" And you're like, "Shut the fuck up."
You were really annoyed because you were actually purposely cutting the onions chunky that time, and you
It was
were
going
really
in a salsa,
annoyed.
you fucking
Yeah, they were
dick.
going in a salsa. Okay,
And my neck is broke. Bro, just because you work in a fucking
they weren't meant to be finely
someone
chopped.
else's restaurant, you loser. We didn't chop that onion right.
No, you're a really good cook.
When you go to your fucking restaurant and get some fucking, you know,
I
like
don't know what we'd do if you didn't cook.
foam over some bullshit. Oh yeah, I've been
You'd be
doing.
eating
I've,
a lot of pasta.
I've been
Probably
doing
if
all.
it was
I've been
up
doing
to me,
all the
like,
jobs recently, haven't I? Chef, taxi man.
Yeah. Tighten you. I drove you around for fucking years, so
9/11 conspiracies, please. Crowd pleaser. Oh, we'll get to that tomorrow. Something that triggered. No. My mate called to see me. Was I wrong to tell him to fuck off after he coughed?
probably Probably in this instance, no.
No,
I mean,
it's
I
the
feel
one
like you
time.
can say anything to anyone now.
It'd be cool to be like, in about 2 years when this is all cleared up, just pretend like you're still really cautious of it.
I feel like I will be.
No, you will be.
Because of all the other stuff I've went through, like for cleanliness and not being in crowds, and then this on top of this to solidify it, I'm like, I'll be probably really weird about this for ages.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not being weird about it.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why half of Asia and all those big cities, they walk around with those masks
That's
and
all the
stuff.
time after SARS and
Because
everything, yeah.
SARS, fucking bird flu apparently was like, like corona's like it gets on you and you might have it for 5 days before you see any symptoms and whatever, and it's a bit slower. Apparently the bird flu was just wiping cunts out, like, and they really had the shutdown. And I was outside Sainsbury's in Derry when I went to uni up there, and I had 2 boxes of beer, and this guy from Radio Foil was like, would you like to speak to us about bird flu? And I was like, not right now, mate. One of 2 boxes of beer and I'm trying to get to the house and get pissed. I don't give a fuck about bird flu. More a beef man. What's a question we should end on? Let's end on this. Bring back Bestie McD. Bring back Bestie McMotherfucking D. Let me tell you something. The writing that I did for Bestie McD is the same writing I do for the Daily Blend, and I'm getting fucking angry. Is the same writing I do for my stand-up, so it's all the same. It's just had a hat on. That's it. Also, I'm 33, so I'm not fucking running
To
around.
be fair, you actually got glasses that look the same. So that's
Yeah, I
weird.
got glasses that look the same, so you're dealing with
So
which are
essentially, life imitating art. What is it?
I am art, bro.
Art, bro.
Art, bro. Right, well, we'll go in and see our child.
Yeah.
Um,
But anyway, weird time, guys. I feel like I'm stuck in some sort of horror film with what's going on in my life recently. So, does it seem like that? Like, just as I'm getting the end of all this, like, I'm literally going for my last one next week, and a deadly virus spreads across the world. Like, what?
yeah.
What is actually happening right now to my life? Like, I'm not saying this is just happening to me, but, like,
I saw a sign.
there's weird
I saw a
there's
sign
weird
today that
times in
said,
it.
"Try not to make this all about you."
For sure. I mean, it's definitely
No,
not.
but you've just had just real cool thing happen after real cool thing. Do you know what the only good things happened to you last night? You had a healthy baby.
Oh, I know, he's amazing. Like, that's why I look at him and nothing really else matters. It doesn't really. It sounds like very much cliched, but it genuinely is true.
Yeah.
Because babies are class. But yeah, I think it was really annoying because I thought when you finish your last game, you were like, oh, eventually I'll be able to like go do normal stuff again. That's kind of what I've been looking forward to for like 4 months.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, oh no, the country is shut down. Oh right, okay.
Bit of crack, bring us all together, won't it?
You know, just hope no one vulnerable gets this.
Yeah.
You know, people are gonna get it, but like, let's hope there are people whose bodies can deal with it. Basically,
Yeah.
that would be
Shout out to Idris
the
Elba.
best case scenario.
Shout out to Luther.
But like, he'll be fine. More than like, although
Yeah.
he's older, but he's like,
He's a
he'll
fit
probably
guy.
feel a bit unwell, but he'll be okay. Young people might feel a bit unwell, be okay. It's if someone, imagine like someone really old, they won't be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Same way they couldn't handle a bad flu, but this is much harder.
I've already talked about it in the podcast.
So
As your mum said, the amount of people who think they have the flu and don't, when you have the real flu,
it's really bad.
it's fucking touch and go, even if you are young and fit and healthy. Like a real dirty, stinking flu, like. Gross.
Yeah, so if everyone's just like sensible for a while, like,
Just stay in, wash your
it's
fucking
stuff-
hands, and if you're one of these assholes, like, thinking you're hard, going out and going about your day, you're a fucking idiot. And if you're one of those bars that are like, yeah, business as usual, you've basically put the fucking nail in your own coffin there, haven't you? Because everyone's just going to be like, what a bunch of cunts. You're basically going, we don't care about anyone, so we're just going to go ahead and try and make money.
Weird times, guys.
Weird times. Oh, my headphones fell off.
It is weird to be part of something that's going to be like in history now.
It's 9:30 now. I'm going to have to process video all through the night, so I think we should call this a day. I'll be back in the morning. I'll be back first thing in the morning. Shout out to everyone who's joined up on the Patreon.
I know, it's very nice if anyone has done that.
But yeah, all I have to do is deliver to you now, and then that's it. Said I do a podcast every day. Some of them might be long, some of them might be short, but it's something to listen to every day, isn't it?
It is, and I mean, I feel like at least it's a nice system because obviously, you know, your work technically kind of what I did as well. It was all down to people coming and stuff that we did, whereas
I don't have gigs.
that's not. We literally have no work for
And
future.
thanks
So
to
if
everyone-
anyone who did contribute to Patreon, it's obviously
Thanks to
very nice.
everyone who
'cause
came to all the gigs on the tour, because thank fuck my tour's over.
Thank God you could have done. Yeah, you've done a good bit of work before this.
Praise
like.
be to Allah that
Yeah.
you know, I've done all my gigs, did my big shows, and had planned a bit of time off anyway. Now we've got the big office, which is of no use.
That's not true.
No, we'll get some serious work done eventually. Plus, I also do just like going up to it. Mm-hmm. You know,
Cool.
bit of space, got beanbags in there. I need you to get me something to make it smell nice. It smells very, you know, not bad, but you know when you're like, it's very carpety and cardboardy, and need a couple of fucking smelly candles.
Oh, cute.
Cute. Or else I might just get like, you know, like a roll-on deodorant and just skid it around the carpet.
Oh. This is the good thing about if you have to go to your workplace, it's only you, Colin.
What do you mean?
It's the thing about being a comedian, isn't it?
Well,
You're the only person you work with. You've no work colleagues.
I'm the
anymore,
only
so
person who does anything.
Colin can technically go to an office to work because there's no one there. Just you and your thoughts and your dog tits.
Just me in a purpose-built silent box, squeezing my dog tits into a latte. Just seeing if I can tie my dog tits together. Shall I Google dog tits real quick? Guess what?
Yes.
Guess what the name of this podcast's gonna be?
So many weird things.
Pregnant dog with human breasts goes viral. The Scottish Sun, of course. Look at those puppies! pregnant dog. Ready? Ready?
Oh my god. Oh.
And of course it's a French bulldog, and it's fat as shit, and I can't.
Just say I was pregnant.
Oh yeah.
Is that what it said, or did I make that?
Yeah, obviously.
Oh.
It's got big set of tits there. And the thing is, it'll have fucking a pile of them underneath. Do you think girls would be sexy if they had like 3 rows of tits? Sexier.
No. I really don't think so.
How funny are tits though? Because dog licking tits? No, thanks. But hey, fancy some bestiality? Okay, that's not even bringing up images.
But maybe stop looking this up now. This is weird.
Oh,
I just realised the amount of weird things in your browser. That's
oh yeah, like if Mickey
not-
was
like-
Mickey was here, we really would have dug in there and just fucking seen what the crack was. That is 500,000 hits. So yeah, let's get out of here, Maureen. I'll be straight back in the morning to record. There was a bit of an offset in delivery of this podcast, seeing that I was in transit most of the day.
yes.
The weather was wild.
Will you get up tonight, wouldn't you? You could probably tell people that.
Playing a card trade, who knows? Oh, yuck. Yuck. It'll just be me soaping up my own dog tits. by myself.
Get keepers away from me.
Yeah, I need to get the video up from last night, and I have my audio away to some specialists to see if they can fucking sort that out. But yeah, cheers to everyone who signed up on the Patreon. We'll just get some podcasts out, and you know what? If you have to wait a wee minute, who gives a shit? Because what are you doing anyway? Chilling?
No, you're gonna do it, aren't you? You got not. There was just a delay today because
Like I'm definitely not going anywhere the rest of the week.
No.
And I might actually try and do a workout tomorrow since I haven't moved. Is your dad doing this run on Saturday?
I think so.
Fuck. Fair play. Fair fucking play. Right, that's it. Stop yawning.
I was at parents, aren't we?
Such old people.
It's 9:30. We're going to sleep. Usually you don't go to. We wouldn't have normally went to bed about 2:00 in the morning.
Look at
Standard.
this. Look at this. The podcast that was at one point number 20 in the whole of the UK. Tape. Shit. Now the other office, I'm actually going to put this wallpaper in the other office. Because I think, not
Don't
this.
give it away. That looks like. Real
Oh no, this real brick wall that someone built that's perfectly out of line.
Yeah.
But
It's amazing how they did that, really.
yeah. Anyway, thanks for signing up.
Yeah.
All we got to do is get the podcast out to you. Hopefully, this gets up on time. I'll do, and this will go on the Patreon. So get the Patreon app. You know, follow me, all that shit, and I'll put them up on private links, and then I'll put the audio up on Patreon, and you can listen to that too.
Cute.
So yesterday's episode was monkey dick skin, and this one's gonna be dog tits.
Wow, there's a trend.
Yeah.
There's a real
We'll
trend.
see what happens tomorrow.
Exciting.
Anyway,
Tune in tomorrow for more animal
Dun, dun, dun.
body parts.
And I spent a lot of money on a new sound desk, and we're back to this, and I'm very upset. Right. See you tomorrow then, suppose. I'll be wearing the same clothes. I'm not. Hey, listen, as a dirty protest, I'm not gonna. These make me blinder. They're disgusting. What did you rub on those? Coconut oil?
I'll probably remember that.
More. What was I gonna say? I don't know. As a dirty protest, until this virus has gone away, I refuse to wash. Because it loves clean surfaces, and apparently it can't really survive on hard surfaces. And I'm a hard cunt, so it's not.
That's why you're gonna stay fat.
Huh? What?
That's why you're gonna stay fat.
Yeah. Stay chubby and healthy, guys.
Hey,
See,
animals don't get it, so keep the dog tits.
dogs do get it.
Oh shit.
Right on the tits. Right on the fucking human dog tits. Right, I'm delirious now.
I've said it too much. Okay, let's go.
Okay, bye. And do you reckon we can wipe your
Did
teeth?
you say okay bye to me?
Okay, bye. I have a couple of things to chat about. Once you're away. Right, we're away to wipe Maureen's teeth here because they're mainly lipstick. Thanks for being on the podcast, Maureen.
No.
Never again. Let me talk. Okay, bye.
See ya.
See you tomorrow.
Good luck.
Look.